Please enjoy this preview from Dragon Dawn, Eclipse, read to you by the author. In the evening of the fourth day, they finally reached Fort Dracus. The surrounding landscape was quite rocky, with rocks jutting out sharply on the plains. The group made their way through an especially rocky area above the fort. "What's with all the rocks?" Exzarate asked, narrowly dodging yet another sharp point. "We're in the Middle Plains region," Callha answered, turning to give a warning to Reagan. "Watch your head!" "And what does that mean?" Exzarate asked. "Legend has it that there was a mountain here that apparently was destroyed by some supernatural forces," Callha finished, slipping in between two tight walls of rock. Exzarate tried to follow her, having to force himself through. "Gates of oblivion, this is getting on my nerves," he muttered. At the end of the passage up ahead, Mygar let out a wild whoop. "Oh ho ho ho!" he shouted, doing a dance of excitement. "We've got him! I've found him!" "Shh!" Exzarate said as he rushed forward, a finger to his lips. "Shut up, you idiot! Do you want them to hear us?" "I thought that was the point," Mygar said. "No!" Exzarate shouted hoarsely as he grabbed his shoulder and threw him down. "It's not!" Mygar stared up at Exzarate from the ground, looking surprised. The other cannibals backed off, afraid that they might get thrown next. The cannibal leader sneered. "So, what have you got in mind, oh Mr. Big and Mighty, eh? A logical plan that doesn't involve bashing the door down and screaming like a lunatic." The last part seemed to stun Mygar, and he kept quiet. Exzarate beckoned for Callha to join him. He pointed at the others, saying, "You all stay here and keep quiet. Next one to make a sound gets their neck broken." The cannibals heeded his threat and meekly sat down. Callha made her way to him, and he gestured to the rise above them. "Come, let's try and get a look." Callha nodded. They climbed up onto the rise and found themselves overlooking Dracus, lying flat on the rise ahead, the sun setting behind it. It was an impressive fortress, yet it seemed to hold some sort of possessive terror within. It was constructed of blackish stones, cut in all sorts of odds and ends, making its walls climbable if one had the endurance for it. 6 towers were placed at each end, for there were several, and the flag of Zelin-gaals flew above each one. Callha gave a low gasp. "By the ancient kings and the 7 spirits," she said quietly. "So that's Dracus." "What's so terrible about it?" Exzarate asked. "There are many legends and tales surrounding it," Callha responded. "Terrible tales. They tell of demons and monsters, ghosts and other things." She suddenly looked over her shoulder, as if expecting something to be there. "They say to recite them on the Aryan-Althio plains is to bring curses upon you." "Do you believe that?" Callha nodded slowly. "Strangely enough, I do." "What does that name mean?" Exzarate asked. "Dracus? No, Aryan-Althio. It sounds almost demonic." "I think it is. But what does it mean?" Callha gazed out on the plains beyond, as if listening for something. Then, very softly, she answered, "Where beasts dare not tread." Exzarate heard the name and felt a strange feeling come over him. If beasts, who were simple creatures, were truly afraid of this place, who knew what was living here? Who knew what terrible things might live in the fort's dark corners? Who knew what waited beyond those dark walls? Dragon Dawn, Eclipse, now available to you exclusively on Amazon in digital and paperback.